Yes, now let us look at the second type of research that's being classified based on the approach that we give to do the research. So we have got inductive approach and deductive approach. So we have looked at this very clearly. So let us again refresh ourselves, but let us not waste much time on studying what is inductive and deductive because we already know what are they. So uh, deductive research is when we start with a theory. A theory can be a literature, theory can be a pre-existing data, theory can be a pre-existing knowledge. So on that one, we try to build a new theory, or we are trying to modify that theory, or we are either trying to reject the theory. So uh, to reject or to accept that theory, we collect the data, then uh, then we try to test the theory. So the best example can be these days we have got lots of human wildlife conflicts, and we see that uh, apex predators like leopard are coming to settled area and disturbing human population. So we want to see that human settlement has caused heavy defragmentation of leopard. So we have got lots of theoretical knowledge on how human settlement has affected the habitat of leopard and why leopard is encroaching our area. So in that we read that theory, then we go to one of the populated area, then we where leopard has actually attacked and where leopard has actually encroached, and we collect the data, and at last we try to either uh, accept that theory, or we try to prove that theory, saying yes, human encroachment to their habitat has led the leopard to come and attack us, or come and uh, come and harm the population. So we are basically trying to do that. But in other sense, we have got another approach called as inductive approach, where we basically try to observe the nature, observe that phenomenon, and try to get some conclusion from that phenomenon. We know that something is there in that phenomena that can give us some new finding. For example, let us say that the same leopard has come to the human settlement, and we're trying to find new reasons why exactly the leopard is coming to that area time and again. So we feel that maybe uh, leopard are coming to sharpen their claws like tigers they do. Tigers, they come to uh, some specific trees, scratch their claws and make their claws very sharp. Maybe, who knows, leopard must be coming to the human settled area to sharpen their claws, using some of the materials that only humans are cultivating or humans are having around them. So we try to collect some data, we try to analyze this data pattern and all, then we try to develop new theory that yes, it's not because of habitat defragmentation that leopard is coming to the human settled area, but it's due to that leopard wants to sharpen its claws and its jaws with some utensils. It's with some uh, trees and crops and some ornamental trees which are basically cultivated by human beings. So that can be a new theory. So I really hope that basically deductive is that something that we start with pre-existing knowledge, and we try to either prove that knowledge, or we either try to disapprove that knowledge. And inductive is something that by looking at the phenomenon, the occurrence, something else in the nature, we try to get something else new. Very best example of inductive is that Newton, uh, he realized that apple was falling on the ground. Uh, that that was when he went for a brick. So if you just narrate how Newton got the apple falling on the uh, apple falling on the ground is, uh, I really forgot the incidents, but it's like these days we have got COVID-19 outbreak pandemic, which had led all the universities, all the institutions, and most of the places closed down, locked down, And similarly like that, when Isaac Newton was studying in Cambridge University, some kind of flu or some kind of disease got outbreak in the vicinity in that area, and Isaac Newton's university was suddenly closed, and he had to go back to his farmhouse where next to the kitchen he had an apple tree, and he saw that apple was falling on the ground, and he finally felt that something is leading that apple to fall on the ground, and finally that's how the gravity was discovered, and how the gravity was put into theory by Isaac Newton. Yes, if you want to still go and look at that tree is still there next to his farmhouse kitchen garden. Yep. But that's all about inductive and deductive. I'm not going to stress on this slide again, but just know that theory, data, theory, and deductive and inductive, data, theory. But in nature, you're not going to find very pure inductive research and very pure deductive research. But in nature, you're basically going to find some kind of combination of inductive and deductive research. For example, let's say research has been started through inductive method. He or she is hypothesizing that something else, some kind of pattern is established in that area. That is, she is trying to observe that pattern, collect the data. Empirical is basically correcting the realistic data that we can see and observe. Collect the data, then he or she is doing some kind of inference. Inference is when you are trying to correlate, you are trying to find association, some kind of variation is in inference. Then you try to again go back to developing a new theory. And that theory is being used by some person like you and me to make some kind of concept and then hypothesize again, collect the data again. So this is some kind of mixture of both inductive and deductive research, where new term called as abductive research comes into play. So we have got abductive, we have got inductive, then we have got deductive. So it's on you whether you want to choose abductive or deductive or inductive. So most of the time your research will be mostly abductive in nature. That's it about the approach of research through inductive and deductive and abductive method. Let us now look at methodology to research type. I'm going to spend more time on this one compared to two other research type. Through methods, we have got qualitative wise and quantitative wise type. So we saw in our earlier class that basically the kind of data that we get from these two methods are the distinct line that draws between these two kinds of methods. One is quantitative and one is qualitative. Quantity, how much? Quality, how good? How better? How bad? How worse? So basically looking at the textual is the qualitative, and basically looking at the magnitude, the quantity is the quantitative. And we are trying to answer questions like how much, what's the magnitude, how much did you get, how much was that. So in quantitative it's basically like answering who, what, how, when, why, and all. So the main thing that is between qualitative and quantitative is something that all of us know, but we're not going to look at it again and again. So during one of our last class, we saw that quantitative can be now again divided into observational and interventional or experimental. So we collect data, quantitative data, just by observing the phenomenon, the nature, the study area. And the other one is, instead of observing, if you feel that you can do something else in that area, then that's where interventional or experimental comes into play. So we have two ways, and qualitative is basically trying to gather the quality data through these different kinds of methods. We're going to look at each one in next few minutes.